this point, we want to bring on our next guest. Professor Imafidon. Prof, if you around, you can unmute yourself. Professor Chris Imafidon.
Prof, try again. Okay.
Thank you very much. Yes.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your sincere desire to stake all you have at great personal risk for our fatherland. I want to reassure everybody on this podcast that injustice anywhere on planet Earth is a threat to justice everywhere. That's not my saying, that's Martin Luther King Jr. So when I see the type of newspaper cuttings that was displayed now from a government, definition of a government is to protect and to preserve lives. As a palpable evidence that lives were destroyed, young ones were cut short. These were not people that went to Iraq or Afghanistan to war. These were people that were in the streets of their own country, doing nothing but asking for 5 basic things. It baffles me that ignorance can allow injustice to be given birth to. I know the people that put this notice out, the chief coroner of Lagos State that signed this, has not evidently read page 13 of Barack Obama's latest memoir. Let me quote from there for clarity. So it's not me just speaking now. This is somebody that is recognized as a global statesman saying that the pride of America as a nation exists in order to defend that which is unjust and expose that which is unjust and prove that the opposition to injustice is worldwide. Ladies and gentlemen, this is page 13 of the latest book by Barack Obama. I just want everybody to see, it's not me talking. Who happens to be the mentor of the current vice president-elect of the United States, Harris. What our leaders also have not read and clearly are unaware of is that they've not seen, this is a book authorized by Angela Merkel, the Chancellor of Germany, as I speak. I will want to refer you to page 85 of what she means by a global coalition for the defense of human rights. Our leaders do not know that I don't have to say anything. They automatically forfeit the right to assemble in the Committee of Nations if they violate this fundamental human right. I don't need to say it. It is evident. If they had time to read, they would have seen this is David Cameron's autobiography. I mean, he wrote it himself. Who was a colleague of the current prime minister that spent energy, effort, and money inviting the current leadership of Nigeria down to London for the anti-corruption summit that was held in Marble House. They may have forgotten that. No matter how short their memory is, the memory of the international community will not be as short as theirs. Therefore, whatever happens domestically happens globally. And whatever happens globally happens domestically. Like I said before, the hashtag #EndSARS is a bigger army than the entire Nigeria military. Let me say this slowly. The armed forces which means the Navy, the Air Force, the Nigerian Army, Territorial Army, cannot take on one simple hashtag whose time has come, where there's a global embrace. That's why I want to reassure all the domestic and the local boys and girls that stood up that day and asked for 5 basic things, which we have now submitted. By the way, it is now global. Every single parliament on planet Earth has a copy of those 5 basic things they're asking for. And they will echo it at any point in time because they saw that you did not ask for a golden elephant. None of the youths that came out asked for what was impossible. They asked for what is tenable and taken for granted anywhere in the world. That is why I really cannot understand that the leadership can allow a country to go adrift because they are intoxicated with oil, drunken with pennies, not knowing that the biggest investment you can make in any country right now, because we live in a knowledge-based age, is investment in knowledge, not getting another oil well. Because that has been the preoccupation of most of the leaders that have come on to that country to say they want to be leaders. I would have been quiet because I have been quiet. But when it touches the lives of these young ones, say, suffer not the little children to come unto me, but forbid them not. For such is the kingdom. These little ones, they are the kingdom builders. They are the kingdom makers. They are the ones that are going to carry the torchlight to a new El Dorado without any shadow of doubt. I know that. Because of the instant connectivity with their European cousins and European neighbors. Because of the instant connectivity with their so-called American neighbors. I'm saying so-called American neighbors because they don't call them American neighbors anymore. They call them cousins because injustice in any location on planet Earth threatens justice in every location. They saw that Nigerian youth campaigned for George Floyd. They knew, they saw the images of people breaking away from coronavirus and campaigning for their singular cause of racial justice in the US. Therefore, they are willing and able to campaign for justice in Nigeria. I'm going to finish up by showing you a write-up I did, editorial I did recently, and I'm ready to make this available to you, of a United States congressman, congressman-elect, to be exact, who cut out his campaign midway through his campaign to go and address the media about NSAS. That's in Washington. I'm not sure those in the Rock, Aso Rock, has seen the tweet that was put out by that young man. So there are many more that are for you than against you. That's what my favorite book says. So do not count the number of people in Nigeria that are supporting you as the bedrock of your support. No, 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 no. There are thousands of millions of youths all over the world that cannot understand why a policeman will kill a citizen. They cannot understand it. Why a nation will sacrifice their future. They cannot understand it. And they will continue to query, even if the national governments are unwilling to put it in their front burner, the youths belong to one global family, and they will continue to ask questions of their elected representative in Berlin, in Beijing, in Los Angeles. Why is it that policemen can put a nail to the neck of someone in Minnesota? Why is it that policemen can look away and allow the military to shoot in Lekki, Lagos? Why is it that policemen can brutalize children in London? This is the life we now live in. We don't live in the old-fashioned silos that had that respect for what you call geopolitical boundaries called nations. We now have literally a universal acceptance of values that ties everyone together. If you doubt me, Check what Jack Dorsey, check what Mark Zuckerberg, check what the big tech giant meant when they reported, tweeted, or liked what was said about NSAS. It's a global movement. I'm sorry. It may have been born in Nigeria, but it will not die in Nigeria, because the whole world are not just watching, they're not just waiting, they are taking action. And I needed to play you a video of thousands and thousands and thousands of white people, black people, mixed race people that marched on Parliament to express their disgust at less than 4.5 hours notice, to show that this may well be the Nigerian equivalent of George Floyd. It's a watershed and is bigger than what I can even imagine. It's tougher than any one of us can contemplate. So we would like to work with all the local individuals, institutions, and groups with the plea that please supply us all the information you have so that we can table it to every single leader, including those in the G20 right now that are meeting in Saudi Arabia. They will know this, they will hear this, and they need to come out with a statement, and a statement of action, not just a statement condemning, but a follow-up action that will make sure that this is expunged from the face of from the surface of the earth. I thank you for the opportunity, and I hope we are able to share questions and insight later. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor. On that note, I mean, as firebrand as always, on that note, I would want to share a presentation made by Chi Onwura, a British MP. She's meant to join us. I hope she will still join us. But let's hear the presentation she made in the British Parliament, and that was done yesterday, I believe. Oh, sorry, wrong video, I think. Quickly, hold on. I think I'm sharing a wrong video. Let me quickly do that again, see if it works. Okay, so that's the video here.
Thank you. I rise to present a petition calling for the government to rally international condemnation of police brutality in Nigeria. The petition was instigated by the Nigeria Association Tyne in Weir. Petition states, the petition of residents of the constituency of Newcastle upon Tyne Central declares that the British government and wider international community should condemn in the strongest possible terms the Nigerian military opening fire on protesters at Lagos Lekki tollgate on 20th October 2020, in which there are reports that 69 people were killed, of whom 51 are believed to be civilians, 11 police officers and 7 soldiers. Further declares that these people were peacefully protesting against police brutality committed by, but not limited to, the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, or SARS. The petitioners therefore request that the House of Commons urge the government to take action to rally the international community and ensure the Nigerian government investigates the brutal violation of human rights in full, to encourage the relevant authorities to charge officers and soldiers guilty of killing unarmed protesters, to explore sanctions on the Nigerian government if guilty of corruption, and to provide a strong voice against corruption and violence in Nigeria.
Petition, police violence in Lagos on 20 October 2020.
Okay, thank you. I mean, we've seen that. She's meant to join us today. That is Chi Onwura. And before we go to the next speaker, I would want to invite back Professor Chris Imafidon here. Please, Prof, if you can unmute yourself. I just want you to quickly, in a couple of seconds, if you may, what's your take on the video clip of Nigerian-born British MP Chi Onwura in that video?
She encapsulates the views of other Nigerian MPs. You know, 20 years ago, we didn't have one single Nigerian MP. 16 years ago, we didn't have one single Nigerian MP. Now we have up to half a dozen members of parliament across the parties, in the ruling party and in the opposition party, that identifies with their cousins being slaughtered for doing not one single criminal activity. They know it. Florence is another lady that is in South London in Vauxhall that joined us on that fateful day, 21st, I'll never forget it, October, at Parliament Square, demanding from her colleagues what must be done, not what should be said, what must be done so that a clear, unambiguous message is sent to anybody and everybody that is directly or indirectly responsible for this act of brutality. And that call is still there. So it doesn't matter whether we are still fighting Corona second wave or we are in lockdown. We cannot be in lockdown and use that as an excuse to see human lives being treated worse than the animals we have in our zoo. The British Museum is here and the British Zoo is here. We look after animals, and every single animal that dies, there is a postmortem to establish why that animal died. There's RSPCA, a charity that is specifically responsible for lives of animals. So why would we treat any other human being less than the animals that we have here? That is what is so unbelievable. That is why I wear this t-shirt. I'm not wearing it as a matter of symbolism, but I'm wearing it as a significance to drive home this simple fact that the American Constitution says we hold this truth to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. And each of them is endowed by their creator. All human beings were created equal. It's the maltreatment and the repression of the genius in men that leads to declassification and leads to or what they call social engineering. Those young men and women, those martyrs, they were not allegedly shot, they were shot. Allegation means there is no evidence, but we have video proofs, we have audio proofs, so it's not an allegation. It's a verifiable fact that human beings were killed for no single reason, not one reason. I just cannot believe that human beings will take this. So action, corresponding action will have to take place until there is evidence of a change of heart by those that are in power, a clear public apology to all those that have been lied against, all those that have been insulted, all those that have been manipulated, and the laughable new law to proscribe social media. Have you heard about that before? The next thing you are going to proscribe in Nigeria is oxygen. Do you think a law can proscribe social media? What are they smoking?
Oh, thank you very much, Prof. Once more. It's, honestly, sometimes when it comes to the issues that has to do with Nigeria, and one can say, as you rightly pointed out, not even in zoo that lives are treated in this manner, but sadly, in a nation that's sometimes being referred as the giant of Africa, life is so nasty and brutish. On that note,